A group of women who first spoke out against Harvey Weinstein, known as the Silence Breakers, are reacting to the verdict that came down yesterday in New York. As you will recall, Weinstein was convicted on 2 of 5 counts. This is Sara Massey, a new accuser, and we'll listen in live from L.A.
To fully protect survivors moving forward. So, this verdict should serve as an example so that all survivors will be heard and believed, and so that all predators will be served justice. And since we're talking about predators, let me say this. Harvey Weinstein is now, and will forever be, a convicted sexual predator. He is going to jail. And this is only the beginning. We will continue to fight. As we turn our efforts and attention to the looming criminal trial in Los Angeles, I have a message for Harvey. For all abusers, rape myth perpetuators, victim blamers, and those who have retaliated against us. This one's for you. Your time is up. The time for survivors to rise up and thrive has come. Thank you.
Good job. Next up, we have Rosanna Arquette.
Good, Jose, we are in jail for sexual harassment with Francine Godoy, paying out $178,000 of our hard-working, tax-paying dollars.
Take no notice.
Thank you. Today is truly a landmark moment for survivors of rape and sexual assault, in that the public is seeing that men, even a man as powerful and famous as Weinstein, will be held accountable for their abuse of women. It is also a watershed moment, a historic leap for the Me Too movement that Tarana Burke began in 2006 and that took another step forward in October of 2017. When my sister survivors and I began to come forward with our stories of Weinstein's predatory behavior, now we know that if we dare to speak, there is a far greater chance we will be heard and our abusers will be punished. This seismic cultural change that began 2.5 years ago has been brought to a legal conclusion, to justice. Think about that. I want you to take this in. It is a historic shift that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. And as a woman, and as an actress in Hollywood, I speak to you today. We speak to you today in the capacity as women who work. And I want to be clear that we're here to hold space for all women and children and men, for the brave women who have testified at this trial, who went through their own personal hell to bring us to this moment of justice, and for the more than 100 women who have spoken of their traumatic experiences with Weinstein to date. I also stand for those, for whatever reasons, have had to remain silent. And I know that speaking out about rape and sexual assault is difficult, if not impossible, for poor women, women of color, disabled women, and trans women, like my sister Alexis. And I want to say to those women, change is coming. We are your sisters. Justice has prevailed today in this case, and I hope we will see more of it. Thank you.
Next up, we have Melissa Sagemiller.
Yesterday's outcome not only represents justice for the women directly involved, but also, hopefully, some measure of vindication for all people who have been sexually abused, because every victory like this is a critical step in the direction of a more just future. In a time when no less than the President of the United States is a sexual predator, and countless other predators continue to persist, yesterday's verdict was a loud and unwavering statement, a cry for accountability, plain and simple. We need to witness accountability at these highest levels to ensure that no one is above the law. We may never know how many women have been assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and other predators of his kind. But I want yesterday's verdict to be a beacon of hope for all those intent on sharing their truth, as well as those that may doubt their power to come forward. I am in awe of all the women who testified in New York, as well as my fellow silence breakers. Thank you for inspiring me to come forward and to legitimize my experience as a survivor and silence breaker. Thank you.
Next up, we have Louisa Geiss.
Hi, my name is Louisa Geiss. Harvey, you messed with the wrong women. We will see you here in Los Angeles, where hopefully your conviction will leave you in jail for life. And to the rest of the 4% of the predators who create 91% of the problem, we are coming for you. As the lead plaintiff in the class action against Harvey Weinstein and as the chairwoman of his bankruptcy, I learned a lot about our judicial system. I learned how archaic our judicial system is. In trying these cases, only 1% to 3% of predators even get convicted. I learned that even with incredible amounts of evidence, that judges will not even listen to it. I learned that women who are raped and sexually harassed and actually receive a settlement are then taxed because that harassment and rape is not seen as a personal injury. As a woman who is a survivor and good friends to many of these women who have been raped and harassed, I can tell you it is a personal injury for life. It is now time to create and change laws that rise up to our enlightened society that we seem to be becoming. If we are going to ask women and men and transgender, if we're going to ask everyone to stand up and rise up, then we need to ask our laws to rise up to support them. Again, it is documented that only 1% to 3% of these rape cases that they get convicted. So, Harvey, congratulations on being in the top percent once again, and we will get you in LA. Thank you.
Next up, we have Louise Garbled.
Good morning. Thank you all very much for being here. At least it's less cold than New York, right? I'm going to read this to you. The verdict yesterday helped restore my belief that there are very many decent people out there. Decent people, like the ones who sat on the jury. Decent people who read the coverage about Harvey and say, I never treated a human being like that. That is what we collectively as a society reclaimed yesterday, a sense of decency. We drew a line in the sand and said exploitation and bullying is not okay. It is not what we want our children to believe is normal and acceptable behavior. We upheld the right of every individual to autonomy over their own body, the right to not be bullied and abused in the workplace. This was never about Harvey. This was about what we, as a society, will tolerate. And I, for one, am glad that the message is clear. Hurt other people, and there will be consequences. Your power and money will not protect you.
Next up, we have Lauren Sivan.
Hello, everyone. This is a great day, not just for all of us up here. Many of us didn't think this day would come. We were actually really nervous and holding our breath because there was a very good chance that he would walk. The fact that he hasn't shows that things are changing. This is a new day. The jury saw through all of the BS and the lies that his defense team tried to put out there. You know, his defense lawyer called the Me Too movement, it was out of control. It's run amok. It was a witch hunt. We can't just believe all women. We have to try them in a court of law. Well, they did. And the jury believed the women. I mean, 2 convictions. He's now a felony rapist. That is huge, especially when you heard about the statistics that Lisette just told you about. Look, this wasn't necessarily a referendum on Me Too, but Harvey Weinstein is the reason Me Too exists. The sheer numbers of us, there are over 100 women with accusations against this man. I mean, maybe you can't believe one woman, but you can believe over 100 of them with very similar stories. And finally, we believe that maybe the criminal justice system is catching up with the cultural shift that we've seen in the last 2 years. So this is a celebration for us, for the women, for all of the journalists that put their jobs on the line to tell our stories. But most of all, it's a win for all of us, because no one should get away with what he's done in the last 30 years without accountability. And now it looks like the tide has turned. Thank you.
Next up, we have Lauren O'Connor.
In 2015, when I was an employee at the Weinstein Company, I filed a memo citing the assaults of other women and workplace abuse. In 2017, that memo became the cornerstone of the article that first broke the story on Harvey Weinstein. In that memo, I wrote, "I am a 28-year-old woman trying to make a living and a career. Harvey Weinstein is a 64-year-old world-famous man, and this is his company. The balance of power is me, 0. Harvey Weinstein, 10. Yesterday, the scales of justice restored the balance of power. They tipped in favor of survivors of assault and workplace inequity. The balance of power is now survivors and silence breakers, 10. Abusers and predators, 0. This verdict will change the history of future generations for years to come. To all who came forward, to all who bore testimony yesterday and before, I thank you for your solidarity. May we persist, and may our voices continue to be heard."
Next up, we have Larissa Gomes.
Hi. I stand here today because I'm supported by all these brave women who came forward, all the women who may not want to come forward, all of the journalists who broke the stories, all of the lawyers and organizations who continue to fight for justice for victims every single day. Harvey Weinstein's conviction does give me a sense of peace. Justice was served, and I'm so grateful for the civic duty displayed by these jurors. Now we can turn our attention to the upcoming trial here in LA. We have an opportunity to build on this momentum. This verdict is not everything, but it's significant in so many ways, and let me explain what I mean. In my mind, I am no longer trapped in a hotel room with Harvey Weinstein forever, because I am here now with all these fierce women after his rape conviction, standing here reflecting on the irony that he will be the one who now feels the fear of being trapped. I'm not shaming myself anymore, because the shame belongs with him. I'm not silent anymore, because I'm doing what I can to ensure that he can't silence one more woman. I won't fear the backlash surrounding this anymore, because I have turned it into purpose. I'm not accepting the system that he created from abuse of power, intimidation, because I, along with all of these women here, are too busy tearing it down. Speaking out collectively changed things, and this right here is the culmination of courage. This trial has become a symbol around the world, and we've seen the manifestation of some of the deepest issues in our culture. We can open our minds to the nature of trauma and victimhood. We can understand the nuances surrounding cases like this, and that is progress. My hope is that this verdict and these trials serve as the ultimate wake-up call, that our justice system and culture will reflect the safer world that we all deserve to live in. Thank you.
Next up, we have Catherine Kendall.
It's a big day. I am one of the many women that was targeted by Harvey Weinstein and the agency that he hired, the Black Cube. And every day that went by that he was not in jail, I feared that I would once again be targeted. It's so important that women continue to come forward and break their silence so that predators like Harvey can be put away. Harvey banked on our fear. He bet on our silence, and he collected for many, many years. But today, he lost the bet, and we're the ones winning. And I am proud to stand with my sisters and keep fighting for a better day for all survivors.
Next up, we have Jessica Barth.
I know. Hi, everyone. My main reason for being here today is to stand alongside these incredibly brave women who have become sisters to me in this 2-year journey. We've given each other strength and friendship and encouragement this entire time. I couldn't be more proud to know everyone up here. I would like to say something to Donna Rotunno. I want to speak for the 1 in 3 women and the 1 in 4 men who are victims of sexual violence. And I want to say that it has nothing to do about putting yourself in that position. Accepting a meeting with a Hollywood icon who's produced every single independent film that you grew up loving, that made you fall in love with acting, that encouraged you and inspired you to come to work in this industry to begin with, is not putting yourself in that position. Being alone in your apartment and having that same person barge into your door and rape you is not putting yourself in that position. This is a man that Meryl Streep once called God. You would think if Meryl Streep referred to him as God, maybe you could trust him. Who does deserve and who has put himself in that position is Harvey Weinstein. And it is my hope that victims everywhere can look to this verdict, this guilty verdict, and have hope and the courage to come forward and know that you will be believed and your predator will be brought to justice. I really, really believe that this is a brand new era in the world of sexual violence. If somebody is powerful with the resources, the unlimited resources that Harvey Weinstein has, can be brought to justice, anybody can. So I really encourage victims to come forward and put the shame and the blame on their perpetrator and take it off themselves. Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, we have Caitlyn Delaney. After Caitlyn speaks, we're going to open it up for some questions.
Hi, good morning. It's nice to see you all, and I came here to speak with you. But the real reason I got out of bed this morning and prepared a speech was to be with the women that are behind me. We all had busy days yesterday and weren't able to be with each other. I wanted to see them because they have been my support. They've held me up, they've given me strength, and together we have made this happen. And along with all of them, I want to thank the women who spoke in this trial. What they went through was horrific, and I just thank them for their bravery. And I'll just go like this, and then oh, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, sister. I just want to say, you know, the skies are blue. We're in Los Angeles. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. I thank the state of New York. I thank the jurors. I thank the prosecutors for bringing in a conviction on 2 counts of rape. And Harvey Weinstein, a reporter asked me yesterday, how do you think Harvey Weinstein will be known now? What do you think his legacy will be? And I said, well, it certainly won't be for the movies that he made. It will be as a convicted serial rapist. And, you know, this is profound. This is precedent setting. And since I couldn't see my sisters yesterday, I can tell you that the best part of my day was going to the grocery store and seeing a little girl running around. And I said that the world has changed. You will have a different world because of what happened today. It is not the same. It will never be the same for survivors everywhere. And as we move to the Los Angeles case, which is equally important, and there will hopefully be more of us that can testify to prior bad acts, because from what I understand, the statutes here, there's more leeway to bring in witnesses. And I certainly hope you hear from all of us, and many of us in that trial as well. And I don't know, I'm just so happy to be here with my sisters, as I said, and thank you all for listening to us.